Can I call the meeting to order?
And I'm just starting the live YouTube here, Tim, so just one moment here. Go ahead.
All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Let's all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag
of the
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
One nation,
a nation
under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
with liberty and justice for all.
feels better to be doing that today than last week.
Well, now, let's please call roll call, please.
Yes. Commission Chair Tim Dean,
Here.
Vice Chair Bruce Angel, Commissioner Jan Burke, Commissioner Mike Thomas.
Here,
All right, and Yvonne Van Ornum is absent this afternoon.
All right. So next item on ours is the approval of the agenda.
make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second?
Any discussion?
Yes, staff does have a discussion item to add to the agenda.
Okay.
And it's about the Lindsay annexation.
Proceed when you're ready.
So, yeah, sure. So essentially we have a project. So this is a proposed Lindsay annexation, PLN 731. This is the 10% petition of annexation that has been submitted for approximately 97.5 acres located in the southeast side of the city. If you could go to the map, yeah. So if you guys are aware of this is just south of 172nd, just west of SR9. So, and just to the north is Glen Eagle. So this is approximately 97.5 acres. This is fully within the city's urban growth area, and the current limits, city limits are bounding the annexation area to the north and to the east of the property. Based off of this proposal, the city's comprehensive land use map and zoning map would need to be amended to include these within the city limits. A presentation will be occurred tonight as well as at the next meeting. And then prior to the 10% petition being heard by council, based off of the comprehensive plan, this meets goals PH 1.1, GL 4, PL 4.4, GL 6, and PL 6.1. This includes a variety of housing density should be encouraged, accommodate new development in manners that supports a growth rate consistent with the state's Growth Management Act, and it also enhances Arlington's quality of life, its natural environment, and historic cultural amenities. When proposing urban growth areas, seek land within the urban growth area that is suitable for urban development with the Growth Management Act. Annex all incorporated urban growth areas within the city's urban growth area. Annexations should all include land within their unincorporated urban growth enclave, which this one is. And it has also been designated as a master plan neighborhood, with that being developed prior to any development occurring on site. Based on this, and there's 8 parcels total. I can certainly go through those lines, but this would be the first step for the consider and accept the 10% annexation prior to moving forward with the 60% annexation petition.
Well, that's going to be, so the presentation will be added to the agenda for this evening.
Correct.
All right. So, Chair requests a motion.
You have a question? A question, Bruce?
Okay, so this is just a discussion item, right?
Correct.
Okay, so the motion is about the approval of the agenda still? I got lost in looking at the
I
map.
believe it's still the approval of the agenda. including PLN number 731.
Correct.
They move to approve the agenda with the inclusion of discussion item 731.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So no opposed, so agenda has been approved. So we will move on now to the approval of the consent agenda. This is going to be the minutes of the January 5th, 2021 Planning Commission meeting and the December 15th Planning Commission workshop. Chair requests a motion. Go ahead.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Second, any discussion? With no discussion, we will all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, so we will pass the approval of the consent agenda, which now brings us on to design review. We, as the Planning Commission, of course, serve as the design review board. And item number 1 will be the Arlington High School expansion, which is design review PLN 778.
So yes, the applicant Arlington School District is proposing to construct additions and renovations to the Arlington High School. The project will provide flexibility for the existing current student population, as well as enhanced learning opportunities with space to support 21st century learning. The high school was permitted through the major development permit and variances issued in 2002. The current project was included and approved by the voters as part of the 2020 levy. The current proposal includes 17,690 square feet of addition and 5,000 square feet of remodeled area. This includes 5 general classrooms, as well as expanded life learning suite, a career technical education lab to support robotics, prototyping, and digital fabrication, as well as a 1-story scene shop for the Performing Arts Center, and is looking to expand the high school capacity by 8 to 10 teaching spaces. The additions will likely be an expansion and continuation of the existing massing and materials. Renovation of the school entry will provide a secure and controlled vestibule for all students and visitors. Vacated current life skills area will be renovated for the Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, JORTC, and a general science classroom. This project area within the space is about 3,000 square feet or 0.69 acres. Based off of the submittal received on November 30th, staff has provided this recommendation that the Design Review Board approve the design review application for Arlington High School expansion, PLN 778.
Thank you, Josh. At this time, we have reviewed this already during our workshop. At this time, Chair requests a motion.
I move we approve the Arlington High School expansion design review PLN 778.
I'll second.
Seconded, and any discussion? And we shall vote. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? So none opposed. Thank you very much. That will then bring us on to item number 2, which is Unique Interiors Design Review PLN number 617.
So yes, the applicant David Road is seeking design review approval to remodel the existing exterior facade of the current Unique Interiors building at 126 McLeod Avenue. The proposed building will be consistent with the general mercantile use, which is allowable in Old Town Business District 1, with the tenant faces or entries facing east. This is based off of the information that was submitted on January 30th, 2019, September 20th, 2020, and December 23rd, 2020. Staff has reviewed these drafting findings and drawings as part of the review process and provided the condition of the wainscot base provided on the west elevation will be continued onto the south elevation to create the base of the building. With that, staff recommends that the design review board approve with conditions the design review application for Unique Interiors 617.
Thank you very much, Josh. Do we have anybody from Unique Interiors present today?
I don't believe so. Did send the email out to them, but it does not look like.
None? Okay. So Chair requests a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve. Go ahead, Bruce.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve the design review plan 617 for Unique Interiors.
Second?
And discussion? There's something I would like to say. One would be that we're going to, I might have to send this backwards, guys. So is that we're going to approve it with the conditions. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. The other thing is I wanted to put on the record a thank you to Unique Interiors for going through all of they've gone through to get it to where it will meet our design standards. So I just wanted to have that in the record. So again, could we have, if you could repeat the motion for me, please.
Make a motion to approve Unique Interiors Plan 617 with the findings and conditions set
Thank you.
forth.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Nope. Then all in favor, say aye.
All right.
Any opposed? None opposed. Thank you very much. It looks like we're going to go through this fairly easy this evening. And then the next item on here will be the Gateway Building G, which is a design review PLN number 786.
Yes, for this staff report, I just want to address this first. There is they did provide responses to our conditions, so I will read those after the initial conditions so you could understand their response before we move forward with the full condition list. So the applicant Gateway Business Park LLC is seeking design review for the new construction of a 117,800 square foot, one-story warehouse with a rectangular footprint oriented east-west, managed to be off the public right-of-way to the southwest and southeast with a truck court on the north side of the building. This site is located on a lot G within the Gateway Business Park, which is located at 20,015 67th Avenue Northeast in Arlington, is within the general industrial zone. Based off of the submittals that was received on December 18th, 2020 and January 18th, 2021, staff was provided these conditions. Provide clearly marked entries from the street. Entries from parking lot shall be subordinate to those related to the street. The applicant has provided for 2 entries from the street, one from Arlington Valley Road, 74th Avenue Northeast, and one from the future right-of-way to the south of the structure with clear pedestrian access from the sidewalk to the entries that are accented with large metal canopies, enhanced landscaping, and entry path lighting. Condition 2 was buildings may not orient large areas of blank walls to the street. The applicant has provided large projecting trellises, green screen boxes with at least a depth of 4 feet have been provided in addition to clear story windows and the addition of accent wall colors. Condition 3, and the building shall be designed and articulated with windows and other architectural elements. New windows, metal accent details, and accent wall colors have been added to provide more articulation to the structure. Condition 4, building shall be divided and given human scale using articulation and or modulation at 40 to 50 foot intervals. New metal accent details, windows, the trellis hedge green screen boxes have been added at a minimum of 20 foot intervals to provide articulation and human scale. New parapet steps have been added to provide horizontal and vertical modulation to the east and south facades. Condition 5, which is facade modulation, stepping back or extending forward a portion of the facade at least 6 feet for each interval. In addition to the 5 foot projecting canopies, new accent details projecting 1.5 feet, as well as the trellis green screen boxes projecting 4 feet have been added for each interval on the south, west, and east facades. No roof mount. Condition 6, no roof mounted equipment shall be visible from the sidewalk or the roadway of the adjacent street. Parapets have been raised at the office node to block any potential rooftop units. No rooftop mechanical equipment shall be visible from the public street. or street due to the height of the exterior walls and as illustrated on the site drawings. In addition to this, staff has also added this condition, the building design submitted for this DRB decision, the Gateway Building G does not establish a precedence for other industrial buildings, including the Gateway Business Park, BSP, and all conditions of the design review matrix will need to be addressed with the use of actual articulation modulation of the physical structure, using the horizontal protrusion recession of building walls, and vertical height variation of walls and roof lines of all future submittals. The city will evaluate the use of the items supported or submitted as part of this design review on a one-time basis and may choose to incorporate some of these elements into the design matrix in the future. However, they are not currently an approved design element at this time. With that, staff is recommending that the design review board approve with conditions the design review application for Gateway Building G, PLN number 786. Again, approve with conditions.
Thank you, Josh. I'm going to do something a little bit different on this one as opposed to what we've done on the last two, because I kind of wanted to put the discussion ahead of the motion, if that's all right. And the reason being is because discussion might go for a little while. If it's very short, then of course we'll just go ahead to normal procedure. But I kind of wanted to open it up for any questions or comments from the commissioners. So I'd like to start out with Commissioner Burke. Did you have any questions or comments on this? I think you might be on mute, so.
Yeah, she's not muted on our end.
And
Unfortunately,
we're showing that you're not muted on our end.
She might need to back out and join. Or
if you want to maybe log out and log back in, Jen, I'm going to move on to Commissioner Angel. Did you have any questions or comments?
Couple comments. Just a reminder that this building is in an unusual physical location and presents some issues that they raised and that we have raised in the past about the standards for these kind of buildings. Item 7, that is the building design submitted, does not establish a precedent. I think is really important because we have other buildings to go in that same general complex. It's always a concern when we approve a deviation, no matter how minor or major, from the design matrix, that then becomes a precedent, whether that is intentional or not. So I think it's really important in this case that we stipulate specifically it is not a precedent, and depending on how this eventuates, perhaps it will lead to further modification of the design review of the standards in the matrix for the CIC. That's my hope, that this will lead to that, so that we have a more predictable design group.
Okay, thank you very much. And if nothing further, then I'm going to go back to you, Commissioner Burke. We still can't hear you. Sorry. Would you be able to call in on your phone and maybe just do it by voice? Would that be okay? And then I'll move on to Commissioner Thomas. Did you have any questions or comments today?
The only one was, I remember in our discussion that had to deal with condition number 1, but that looks like that's been addressed. So,
Okay.
and the same thing that Bruce had said about 7.
Yeah.
So,
And are you finished then? Okay.
yes, I'm done.
Okay, thank you. And then I'm going to go ahead and talk before, Jan, are you able to talk yet? So we can't hear her yet. So I just wanted to address my question to Mark. So Mark, on condition number 7, which is of course our highlight today, is the verbiage that's in there right now sufficient to support the intent?
I believe so, Mr. Chairman. This was expressed to the applicant at an in-person meeting with them last week. So they're fully aware of what we're expecting from future applications and design. So they understand that. We told them that we would need a design early on for the next building that they're looking for permitting on, so that we have time to evaluate it and comment and get the form of the building down to something that's acceptable to move forward. So they did promise to do that. But I think the verbiage points out that, you know, this is a one-time consideration. We're going to look at these green screens. These green screens are supposed to be 4 feet in depth. And so it does give you a physical bump out from the wall, from the wall plane of the building. And so we'll look at that and evaluate it once it gets in place. So we did give them consideration to do that, but they are fully aware that this is not to set the precedence for the future buildings on that site.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Another comment, Mr. Chairman?
Very well.
Is that we've now introduced on 2 buildings a modulation element that we have never considered before. And we're going to need a little time to see how that actually looks on both of the buildings, because for both Roxy and this building, we approved screens as a modulation element. And it'll be really interesting to see how that works.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you. And then one more attempt at Commissioner Burke. Were you able to get your?
Can you hear me now?
We can.
There we go.
Yay! I'm so sorry.
Sorry to push you all the way to the end, but please, if you have any questions or comments.
No, actually mine were about 7. You guys have actually gone over them. So I guess that worked out.
Okay, wonderful. I appreciate that. And then, so at this time, the chair does request a motion.
I move that the Design Review Board approve, hang on one second here, approve the design for, hang on one more minute here. That works. Yeah, the Design Review Board approve PLN 786, the Gateway Building G, with the conditions attached 1 through 7.
Thank you. Any second?
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion before we proceed? No further discussion, then all in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? None opposed. Thank you very much. That was, I appreciate that. And then the next item on here would be then PLN 731.
So as I previously described, this is for the 10% petition of annexation for approximately 97.5 acres. As you can see on the screen, the area within the red box are the parcels that would be annexed. And currently, as you can see, I guess that's an orange line that you can kind of see on hiding under the red line in certain parts, but that's the current city limits. So they're currently about on the east side of this segment of properties. That's actually the road. So if you see the orange one right above that line, that would be the city limit.
What, can you do 172nd on there? Because I'm a little turned around.
So yeah, so 172nd is right there.
Okay.
And then the intersection with SR9 is just up the hill to the east.
Right there.
Yeah.
Oh, so this doesn't border Highway 9.
No.
The gun range and the tribe property is in between 9 and this.
And currently, we've had 8 different property owners sign on to the petition, which is a majority of the parcels within there. But but certainly does meet the 10% petition of the area. And certainly they are certainly very willing to move forward on the 60% when they're able to do that. They have been very adamant in calling me and very interested in moving this forward.
And that will still come in the city as a master plan neighborhood?
Correct, and I would still come in as an MPN, a master plan neighborhood.
Is this pretty much all we have right now, Josh, on this is just this map?
Correct, yeah, at this time, it's essentially just this areas that we're discussing. Just wanted to make you aware, since they have submitted their interest to be annexed by the city.
So when I'm a little confused with the 10% part of it. What does that entail?
Yeah, essentially, the way the annexation process works is that you initially submit a petition within 10% of the property owners within that area of the proposed annexation area, which in this case is the red box. And essentially, with the 10% petition that gets submitted to us, and then with Planning Commission's recommendation, it would move forward to council, and council would entertain the petition, and then after that, they would move forward with the 60% petition, which is 60% of the assessed land value rather than property owners in this case. And then from that, it would go to the Boundary Review Board as well as through City Council.
Thank you. So the next steps on this will more than likely be what?
So the direct next step after this would be essentially approving the 10% petition and recommending that for council to hear, and then which we're hoping would occur at the next meeting. And then from there, City Council would entertain the petition and then make a decision. And if council does approve of that 10% petition, that next step would be for the applicant to essentially get the 60% petition into us at that point.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I think Mike can attest too that this has been part of the plan for as long as I can remember, Mike.
Well, I was going to say, I think it was 2008 when they all came in and we kind of shut them down and they were mad at us.
Yeah, yeah.
And just before Barclays North went belly up, because they were the ones that were trying to spearhead 10 cul-de-sacs in there.
Yeah.
So-
So it's only been, what, 12 years?
Yeah, I think so.
13?
13.
Something
Yeah.
that's been in the works a long time, it sounds like. Okay.
Well, it had to work out for the right time.
I just had a question.
Yeah.
So I know further down, perhaps more towards 67th, there's a road project in the TIP. Is that correct, on this street? On 172nd up here?
Yes, so that's a project, Jan, that has to be approved to get onto the state's Exhibit C list. So that's that segment between 67th and Highway 9, which this would front against.
Okay, so so currently there's, if it comes out of the county, that would not affect any funding then?
Correct. So if this goes forward, then those frontage improvements would be obligated onto the development of this MPN.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So one thing I do want to point out, because this is a master plan neighborhood, there will be plenty of opportunity for us to evaluate what we want here in the way of a master plan neighborhood. Our MPN ordinance within the AMC actually spells out 50% low density, 50% middle to high density, or 50% commercial. So the one thing we're going to look at here is that the 50% for low density is something that we're going to want to evaluate, because we only have 2 large land masses left in order to do any type of residential development on. This is one, East Hill or Breakfast Beach is the other one. So we have to be very cognizant about what type of capacity that we're going to get out of these two land areas. So during the master plan process and planning, we have the ability to adjust some of the things that were already set in place through the AMC, which was done, back in 2005. So just want to bring that forward, that we'll have to have some progressive thinking to apply to the creation of the master plan neighborhood.
So could I rest assured that perhaps we're not going to see somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 cul-de-sacs?
That is correct.
Thank you. That makes me feel better, doesn't it, Mike? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was going to be a terrible thing. It was good we shut it down.
All right.
And in saying that, I'm not saying that a detached SFR won't be a part of this. It's just that we'll look at it and having maybe smaller lots to do SFRs on, so that we do get some better capacity out of this. But we're looking at a blend of both single-family residences, townhomes, maybe some multifamily involved in this also. But just give you a little preface to where we're going with this if it proceeds forward.
Perfect. Thank you. So any further questions or discussion? Well, I look forward to seeing more information come out about it here in the next little while. So, and this will be on our agenda for 2 weeks from now. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Is that going to be for our workshop on that time? Is that right?
Right. Then it proceeds as a city council to workshop on February 8th.
Okay. Well, without any further items on our agenda, did we have anybody open for public comment this evening?
There's no one up for public comment.
Okay. I guess at this point then, Chair requests a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn?
Oh, second.
Any further discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.